Hi everyone, it's JJ here and welcome back to Be Colorful for the second part of the video where I'm gonna make 10 cards with the Tonic Craft Kit number 36. We have already made the first 5 cards together. You can find the link down below in the description box and in the link that now appears at the top right. And also 2 beautiful Christmas lanterns, always with this beautiful kit. If you want to take a look how to create them, I leave you the link to that video too. Christmas is came and I know I'm late. Unfortunately, I had serious family problems and for the whole of November I was in Italy, so I couldn't create or publish new videos. However, life goes on and having a hobby makes everything more colorful. And since there is little time, I take this opportunity to show you how to create quick cards by taking advantage of the washi tape included in the kit. So let's get started right away. First, I create my card base, a landscape card in 4¼ by 5½ standard size. I use 300 GSM thick ivory cardstock. Still on the same paper, I'm gonna make a panel slightly smaller than the card base, using this stitch rectangle die. Now let's move on to the fun part, decorating the card with the washi tapes from the kit. Of course, you can also use other washi tapes with different patterns and colors. With the help of the grid in my work surface, I'm gonna place the first strip of washi tape horizontally, covering the panel along its entire width. Then I also apply the second strip. This time I'm gonna cut out the left end by hand, leaving a distress edge. I'm gonna put the third strip will have both distress edges. To give the Christmas card a golden touch, I cut out a strip of the gold embossed paper from the kit. I'm going to fold the excesses on the back of the panel. And let's move on to the sentiment. I'm going to stamp on a rectangle of ivory cardstock one of the stamps included in the kit. I'm using the clear Versamark ink as I planned to do a hot embossing technique with a red embossing powder. I'm going to add finishing borders to the rectangle using the gold Speciality card from the kit. The sentiment is ready, so I can stick it on the card using some foam pad to give a nice dimension. To add some details on the card and to insert in other points the same red that I used for the sentiment, I'm going to print some stars using the stamp of the kit with my Versamark ink and then emboss them with the red embossing powder that I used, in fact, for the sentiment. I'm going to decorate the card even more by creating a few drops with the glitter drop included in the kit. Now we can glue the panel onto the card base as it is, but I prefer to add another panel to give more color around its edges. With the same stitch rectangle die that I used to die cut this panel, I created a second one on the iridescent red paper from the kit. So now I can glue the main panel onto the red panel and all on the card base, and the sixth card is finished. Also for this card I start by creating the card base. This time I'm using a white cardstock and I'm going to make a top fold portrait card, which remains my favorite standard card type. The measures are always the standard 4¼ by 5½. Then I'm gonna cut out two panels, one on white cardstock and one on tan brown classic card that will create the finishing border of the white panel. And now let's play with washi tape. Cutting them by hand, I'm gonna place 3 vertical strips on the white panel. The focal point of my card will be a tag that I get using the oval die of the kit. I'm going to cut out two tags, one on white cardstock, one on the classic card tan brown. I'm gonna decorate the background of the tag by stamping snowflakes with this distress ink that matches perfectly with the brown of the classic card tan brown. Then I'm gonna print one of the sentiment included in the kit using the Onyx Black Versafine ink and embossing it with clear embossing powder, which will give a nice and shine finish. I clean the stamp and I melt the embossing powder with the heat tool. The tags are ready, but before gluing them on the card, I'm gonna insert the white and red thread through the appropriate holes. Now I can glue everything. And I finish the card by adding a few drops of glitter accent included in the kit. The card number 8 will be a cute Christmas window card decorated with washi tape. First, I'm gonna prepare the card base on white cardstock. Then, with a stitch rectangle die, I'm gonna make a panel, again on white cardstock, slightly smaller than my card base. With the die of the kit creating a round tag, I'm going to die cut the panel, creating 2 windows. So now I'm going to create the background for these 2 windows using washi tapes. First of all, however, on the card base I mark with a pencil the position of the 2 windows. Then, with the eraser, I soften the pencil because the washi tapes are semi-transparent, so you might notice the marks. Next, I can proceed to place the washi tape strips. To give a touch of glitter, which is always good at Christmas, I'm going to add a few strips of glitter card in the intersection of the various washi tape strips. As a sentiment, I will stamp one of the stamps included in the kit with the Onyx Black Versafine ink, embossing it then with the clear embossing powder. We're almost there, but these 2 round windows will become 2 Christmas baubles. With a fine tip black pen and a ruler, I'm going to draw 2 vertical lines that will be the threads of the baubles. I finish this nice card with 2 super Christmas red bows. I'm going to create fishtails at the end of the ribbons. Finally, I'm going to glue the bows with glue dots on the top of the baubles. I just have to glue the panel onto the card base using some foam tape to give depth to the baubles. And the card is ready. For the last card with the washi tape, I propose you a cluster. I will work directly on the card base, which will be a standard card that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm using white cardstock. I start placing 2 strips of washi tape on the bottom right of the card base. Then, with VersaFine Onyx Black, I'm going to stamp the sentiment, taking advantage of this simple style of the font, which, in my opinion, will fit perfectly with the essential design I want to give to the card. Continuing with the cluster, I'm going to glue a strip of glitter paper from the kit and one of the red embossed specialty card, always included in the kit. The focal point of my card will be a Christmas bauble, so I'm going to die cut a circle tag on white cardstock on which I'm gonna stamp a snowflake with VersaFine Onyx Black ink and then heat emboss it with clear embossing powder. Next, I'm going to die cut another tag on glitter paper, just to add a kind of shadow to the white circle. I transform the tag into a Christmas bauble by adding a paper bow that I create using these dies, not included in the kit, on the embossed Speciality red paper included in the kit. Of course, you can use fabric bows. I'm going to stick the white circle on the top of the glitter one, just slightly offset, and the bow to cover up the hole. I'm going to stick the Christmas bauble onto the card base with some foam pad. As finishing touches, I'm going to create a drop with the glitter drop included in the kit in the center of the snowflake, and 3 drops lined up with washi tape at the top, and the card is finished. The last card of this kit that will be an interactive card, that is a spin card. I'm going to prepare the card base on ivory cardstock in a standard size, that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. Still on ivory cardstock, I'm going to cut out a 4 by 5 1/4 panel. On this panel, I'm going to create a window with the large triangular die from the kit. With the same die, I also create a window on the front side of the card base. I pay a lot of attention in arranging the die because the 2 windows must match perfectly. I'm going to add some interest to the background panel by simply spraying a few drops of the aqua shimmer pen included in the kit. Then, with the red pearlescent paper from the kit, I'm gonna create the finishing border for the background panel, removing the central part with a rectangle die. Doesn't matter if it is stitched or not, I'm just using that because it is on my table. And let's move on to create the mobile element of the spinner card. First, I'm going to die cut 2 circle tags on ivory cardstock. I embellish them by die cut both with the coordinated die. Then, on the back of one, I'm going to glue a piece of gold satin paper from the kit as the background for the intricate design. While on the other, I'm going to glue a piece of red pearlescent paper. Next, between the two tags, I'm going to glue the thread of the spinner card mechanism. For safety, I will use a very strong double-sided tape adhesive. I glue the thread, taking care to position it vertically and, above all, straight with respect to the drawing. I'm gonna glue the other tag on the back. And the mobile element of the spinner card is ready. Therefore, I'm gonna fix it in the card, gluing the ends of the wire directly on the card base, taking care to stretch it as much as possible. Then I also glue the finishing borders to the card base and I move on to the sentiment, for which I decided to stamp Merry Christmas on each of the three sides of the triangular window. I will go for a hot embossing technique with a gold embossing powder. For that, I'm stamping the sentiment with a clear Versamark ink. Now I can stick the background panel onto the card. And I'm gonna glue inside the card a golden satin paper panel that will act as a background for the window and allow us to write our personal message inside. And here we are at the final details. I'm going to create a few drops of glitter drop in line with the sentiment. Once they are dry, I'm gonna insert a red ribbon into the tag. We can say that a spinner card is finished only after having turned the tag well. Ready? Go! And this was the last of the 10 cards I created with the Tonic Craft Kit number 36. I hope you enjoyed and got a lot of inspiration. Thank you for following me and I wish you a happy Christmas, although I know very well that this year will be a little different for everyone. Thank you again, see you soon, Merry Christmas and be colorful!